We're back!
We're back!
We're back with series 3.
Here again.
Oh my god.
I'm really not into... I don't
You're
know
not
what
into
to...
what?
I don't know. I feel all weird and
You get
nervous
nervous
again. I feel
again.
like this is starting from the top again.
It feels like we're starting again.
It does.
But this series, I think this is going to be our best series yet.
You think so?
I hope so.
Well, hopefully. I mean, we've got some things
we've
playing,
kept people
didn't we?
waiting for so long. I don't know. I mean, we've had a few comments to say, like, when are you guys going to be back over there?
I mean, lots has happened since we last recorded.
What's gone on?
The one thing that I can think about the most, I didn't even know how to use Blender when we last recorded.
True.
Like, I'd done all those, like, courses and everything.
You were very... And this is what... I'm very proud of you, by the way, for, like, what you've done.
You've written a new book.
I have. Oh, my God.
So much.
Because you were so, like... I remember saying to you, oh, well, why not try the 3D stuff? Why not do this? And you were like, no.
Don't like 3D.
Don't like it. And then that's all you seem to do now.
It's the way forward now, yeah. It's got me onto me game dev stuff and all
What
sorts.
I've realised within us as... I guess there's two sides of it. There's like the relationship side and then there's the creative... I would say this
arty
is
side.
I would say this is the job side of it.
The job? Yeah, it's the fucking
It's
job.
a fucking hard work. This is a job, baby, you.
Oh, thanks.
No, but what I've realised is if I say something to you, and this is literally only within like your creative thing, because I think I just wish you had more. This is turning into fucking relationship counselling, no?
Within 2.5 minutes.
What I hate about you is it take like not with any other form of like us.
Yes.
It's only with like the art stuff. If I say something to you 6 months in advance, then it seems to be like 6 months later, you're an absolute A star in it.
Oh, thanks.
Because I said to you, like, I'll try the 3D stuff, and you were like, nah. And I was like, well, it's what everyone's sort of looking for, blah, blah, blah. Nah, don't want to do it. Look at you now.
All 3D'd up.
Oh, God, you're so 3D. Honestly,
I'm
it's
so
almost like a
3D.
picture.
I've gone from the 2D world to my 3D
But
life.
yeah, strength to strength.
I mean, it's definitely my main thing now, which, yeah, I'm happy
And it's
I'm doing
nice
it now.
because I see people on Twitter creating stuff that's modelled on your stuff.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I've just been inspired by other artists as well, so I can't take all the
That's
credit.
what I'm trying to say. They're inspired by your work.
I suppose so, which is pretty cool. I mean, I know it's not about followers or anything, but my following has increased majorly since,
it's crazy.
done 3D stuff. So, and I think that's is it niche? Is that the word?
Niche.
Is it?
Yeah.
Oh,
niche.
I almost said quiche.
Oh, I love a quiche, I do.
I just found my quiche.
I know you don't like quiches, but while we're on the subject of quiches... Oh, they're bloody lovely. Honestly...
Isn't it lemon or something?
Lemon, no. Quiche... Quiche is made out of egg.
I don't know.
Okay, quiches have egg in and then different fillings. So you can have like cheese and onion.
So you could have lemons in it.
Lorraine, quiche Lorraine.
What's Lorraine got to do with it?
Well, I did Google this because I was like, do they mean like Lorraine Kelly or was she quite big in the quiche world? I don't know. But apparently it's something to do with a place in France.
Oh, yeah, there is a place called Lorraine, yeah.
And basically it just means it's got ham and cheese in it.
Oh, okay then.
But I will tell you this, if you ever want to go into lasagnas, what the fuck?
What is happening?
What about quiches?
We're falling apart.
You ever want to go into the quiche world? They are really hot. They hold their heat quite a lot.
Okay.
So, spoiler alert for anyone who's not had a quiche, just like how Jase.
I love how we've gone such a sideline already.
I know.
Like, what
People
is
think
life?
you're going to talk about the world's literally end, and then, no, we're talking about
quiches.
quiche Lorraine.
Yeah.
Okay, so let's wrap that quiche up.
Yep.
What else has been going on in the world?
Well, there's that little thing that happened that just shut the world down.
Do we not want to... I don't really want to say the C word.
No, it's
I mean, I've said the other one on here.
What's that?
I can't say that. Well, I said it, didn't I?
The nasty word.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, lots has happened in, yeah. I was about to say not a lot of time, but it's been ages. But at the same time, it's not felt like very long at all.
I know.
It's really weird. But basically, we've not seen each other for almost 5 months.
No. Well, it has been 5 months.
Yeah, I think it has. I can't remember. I've lost track of time.
No, it's over 5 months. Because obviously we live so far away from each other. It's not one of them where you can kind of just. Well, I mean, you could maybe if it was new, but we're almost 4 years in. I couldn't give a shit anymore. But
Wow.
I'm joking. You know, I love you.
Rude.
Very rude. No, so it's one of them where it's like it's an hour and a half to get to you.
Yes.
To stand at your door and wave and then drive home.
Basically, yeah.
So we've just sort of.
I didn't want to do it either because it made the whole thing more real. That I couldn't see you properly, I think. Mm-hmm. So it was one of them where it's like, well, we just won't see each other.
It's been a lot of the amount. I mean, it's nice because people have been like, oh, I don't know how you're doing that. I couldn't do that.
Yeah.
And it's nice because obviously we're in a place that we're pretty decent. But then there would be times when I was tired and I'm like, is this normal that we're so cool, like almost cool about it?
Yeah.
And then I thought. And it's a little PSA. Mind your fucking business over here. Because like, I said to you, didn't I? I was like, is this normal that we're fine about it almost? I mean, obviously, like, I missed you and stuff.
Yeah, exactly.
But I was like, well, we can't see each other, so.
I think because we're one of those couples that can function without one another,
oh, God,
we were able to go into this situation and be okay to some degree.
Yeah.
So I think that's part of it.
But then I'm glad that we're like that anyway.
Yeah.
But I think because obviously society has this really fucked up road that every couple apparently has to go on. Like, you gotta have babies, you gotta get married over there.
Yeah, got a set structure to follow.
Yeah, so it's kind of like, apparently we didn't know that the this virus was on that map as well. And we've again missed a turn-in, so
yeah.
Let's break up.
Yeah.
But yeah, all is well. We're back, we're recording.
And we're basically just going to talk about some of the games we played during lockdown and everything.
So, the quarantine games.
Yeah.
Is afoot. Are afoot?
I'm gutted that everyone can't see the little thing you just done there.
What did I do?
Declare the quarantine games, and you put your hands in the air and spread them aside like it's the announcement of the Olympics
like it's
or
an
something.
Official event.
Yeah, the quarantine game. It's like the Hunger Games.
I was actually trying to think of like, can I make some sort of theme tune
for what?
For us announcing that.
Good luck.
I don't know, but then all the good theme tunes are already done. Like Wimbledon's got a really good theme tune. The cricket has got the best theme.
Oh, I don't think I've ever heard it.
Really?
No.
Oh, you would have done.
Oh, maybe. I don't know.
I don't know.
It doesn't spring to mind.
No. Those are the only two that I can think of.
I mean, yeah. So we're going to be talking about some of the games we played.
Also, we have, like, a lot has gone on anyway. We've now have Twitch.
Yeah, that's what. Yeah, we're both streaming now.
I know. I feel like this past 5 months, well, this past year actually, you and I have done stuff that we were like, nah, not going to do that.
Yeah, a lot's changed.
But then I feel like friendships have come about and turned, not in a bad way, obviously, they've just don't hate this word sometimes.
Yes, we've been welcomed into the Chubba Matt community.
We have.
All of those guys.
It's nice because I said this to them on stream, didn't I? Like we were having, I don't know whether we were having like a late night honesty vibe.
Oh, it usually happens on some of those streams
and I
where
was
they're
like,
up really late.
You guys, you welcome me in with open arms. I can't deal with it. Because obviously, predominantly, they're your mates.
Well, I mean, I've only
I'm just a hanger-on.
No, you're not.
But now I don't feel like I am.
Well, no, you're not. That's not true.
No. But it's really nice. It's just, it's different.
Yeah.
But it's weird because obviously, again, it's one of those things where it's like, well, I felt like that with you, really. It's like I hadn't met you, but I felt like I'd known you for yonks.
Yeah.
And it's like the same with that lot. Like, with like Maren and Nat and everyone.
They're a very welcoming group of people.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. And I didn't think that they were not.
Yeah. I mean, it's mostly down to them that I started Twitch, really.
Like when you slide into like a chat and everyone knows each other and I was like, oh, no. And
because
because of
you're
how
just like, hello.
I feel like, and this isn't oh my God, compliment me because I'm not that sort of person who gives a fuck. But I feel like I'm quite a marmitey person. You either love me or you hate me.
Right.
I was like, this is going to go one of two ways. But I'm glad we were on the...
You just say hi and they're all like, get out.
Yeah, fuck off. Yeah. So it's good. But yeah, you have your art one.
Yeah, I'm doing...
which is, what's the channel net? We need links.
I
We'll
can't.
link them
What am
below.
I? I'm called Jason Chester 22.
You are.
So it doesn't imply that I do anything exciting, really.
Well,
but,
you do like your Blender streams.
Yeah, I
and
mean,
stuff.
I'm just doing Blender stuff at the minute.
Everyone loves it on there though because they say it's like so relaxing. It's like ASMR.
I mean, I didn't really know what I was going into streaming Blender stuff. I didn't think like I couldn't figure out what people would come here for because it's like I'm not a good teacher, so I mean, you know, use the streams to what you want to, but I can't. I'm not very good at telling you like what to do.
But then I think it's helped.
But then because of the music that I found
Yeah.
and everything, and I'm just like, okay, I'm now just going to start. I'm just gonna make a little cube, and then I'm gonna make a little circle, and then people just seem to appreciate my
But then I think people sort
chilledness.
of like view your models and they look at them and you're like, oh my god, there's so much work that's gone into that. How did he get from like A to B with that?
Yeah, I think a
So
lot
I
of people are
think-
interested in the process.
Yeah, exactly. So sometimes I think, yeah, people want it for like tutorials and stuff, but I think it's, you know, helped you anyway with being on there and chatting and
I think so. I
holding that kind of not one-sided conversation, but obviously you're having a conversation, but you're only getting the text back. So
yeah.
you're still obviously having that conversation. It's just a different type. But I think it's helped you massively.
Yeah, it's pretty daunting. I would have never have thought of streaming like this time last year. If someone said like, "Oh, are you even going to try streaming?" I'd be like, "No, absolutely
No.
not." I mean, it was tough just trying to do the podcast, let alone. I think because I'm on my own as well when I stream. That's the other thing. But because I thought the best way to like approach always talking is just talking about literally what I'm doing. I know it's like repetitive or can be, but
No, but
people nobody's ever really complained that I've been like saying the same thing over and over again or anything. So
I think people prefer that than, I mean, I know I would, than like radio silence or anything.
yeah, well, I mean that's the good thing about the music being there because sometimes I just zone out when it's like something really complicated. I won't talk, but then the music will just plinky plonk along in the background. So
But then it's nice that people have a chat in the chat and
yeah, I
all
mean
of
not
that stuff.
people. I don't think they always come to my streams really to talk. I think it depends who's in the chat and whether they
yeah, absolutely.
and depends on the time and all sorts of things. So yeah, but I have enjoyed. I mean, I was well appreciative of doing that Age of Empires one.
yeah.
And Age of Empires retweeted it and said I'll stream. I thought I've never expected that. I
No.
was well happy about that, and that was my first stream, like my
I
first,
think so.
my first like official one that I said I was actually going to stream.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, that was really cool. And yeah, and at the minute you're just running our channel for us.
Yeah. So I thought we
I feel
would
kind of guilty.
No, don't feel guilty. It's fine. Because so basically, again, it's more chat of, God, we're so fucking self-absorbed in this first half. It's a joke.
Yeah, I know.
But
Just
it's fine.
promotion.
But that's the thing. There's so much I think that's gone on. Even in just this past. That's not even in this year though. That's in the past this 5 months. Like, it's weird. 'Cause
Yeah,
it seems
lots
like
happened in just a small.
since we haven't seen each other. It's almost like we've trying to find other ways of building the podcast and all of this. Obviously, like we're really small and we're not trying to be something that we're not. I think
Yeah.
it's nice that people have enjoyed us and the stream and all of that stuff. But obviously we've got brand new. We treated ourselves because obviously, like in quarantine, you're not going anywhere. Well, I mean,
No.
I haven't been.
You shouldn't be.
No. Well, that's the thing. People are just doing what they want.
Well, things have changed a bit now anyway. So
Yeah, that's true. But I ain't going to go into that.
Well,
today.
no,
We'll
no,
keep
no,
very
no,
positive
no.
space. But yeah, so we thought we'd treat ourselves to all brand new equipment.
Yes, we've got nice new mics and stands and a little new interface and everything.
Yeah.
So hopefully our because Vic was originally using a like guitar mic and I had this old mic from my singing days. So and we had this really old, I think it was like a 10-year-old like little interface which wasn't really great because when I tried using it last time,
I think it was
just
on its
slowed
way out,
my
wasn't
voice
it?
down. Well, no, it didn't even slow my voice down. It lowered my
It pitched you down. So
Yeah,
it
so I was
sounded
like-
like, you know, in films when they sound possessed. Or
Yes.
they're on the turn
Yeah,
of
it
possession.
was honestly like that.
And I was like, oh my God.
But it wasn't
what's
sped up or
living in
down.
there? No. So we just thought, you know what? We'll treat ourselves.
Yeah, just get new
Because
gear.
that's the thing. It's like that's lasted you so long.
Well,
And
yeah, it's over 10 years
we've
of
had
that stuff.
two series with that. So
Yeah.
I feel like going into series 3, we're like, we'll get ourselves some new stuff.
Particularly with the streaming stuff as well. If we can figure out how to use
Yeah.
these with that, then again, that's another bonus, I suppose.
So yeah, so then also we've had a massive revamp with the artwork and stuff, thanks to you and your
My 3D sort
3D
of
skills.
stuff. Yeah, it's not the best. Like if anyone watched me put it together, they'd be like, "What are you doing?" Because I know it's not the best way to go about it, but it seemed to have worked.
What, in the sense of you doing all of our stuff?
Yeah, like all the way all the 3D stuff happens, because it's in 3D space. To try and make like 2D almost graphics, it doesn't really translate properly.
Right.
And I've not really figured out how to do like equal spacing and everything at the minute with objects you've already built. So like our figures and stuff.
I mean,
Yeah,
to
it's
me,
a lot of
it looks
learning,
great.
But, well, I'm
And
glad.
you have this thing as well of, I'll send you the shittest drawing ever, and somehow you can translate that to the exact thing that I envisage.
I mean, I don't want to like say that. Yeah, you're drawing shit.
No, but it is shit. You
But
can
I
say
think
that. But
I'm
then you're
used
the
to
artist
it
of the two.
From obviously my work, a lot of
Yeah.
the CAD stuff I do, people literally just draw a sketch and go, "Jace, can you make that on CAD and make it look like a proper piece?"
Well,
So
you
then
did
I'll
all
just
my
go and tart it
Bubblegum
up.
Stitches XO stuff.
Oh
and-
yeah.
Which is still, I love that.
Well, thanks. That took, a lot, but we got there. I
I
mean,
think this
again,
is the
you were
thing.
helping out with it.
I think have such. I don't know whether it's because obviously there's a lot of us that are like that, especially creatives as well. I think because obviously when I'm writing and stuff, I have such a specific thing in my head, and
Mindset.
I can see it as a filmer. I can see it as a whole thing.
Yeah.
What you did to our like banners, logos, everything, that is exactly how I saw it. So I was like, I know that if I can just say this and be like, and I always feel bad because sometimes I go to you and you'll send it through to me and it's amazing, but then I'm like, this isn't right. Yeah, but then I'm like, maybe that's just because in certain realms of my life I'm a bit of a perfectionist, but then sometimes I don't think that's a bad thing.
Well, no, but you don't usually get things right the first time.
No, but then it's never that it's so left field or whatever the phrase is that it's wrong.
No.
But yeah, so we've just had a total revamp.
A shake-up of everything in life.
Yeah, so on our Twitch channel, which is twitch.tv/VoltUnlocked, I'll link all these anyway,
Okay, cool.
so don't worry about
I'm
that.
useless at doing like my links and my socials.
My social medias. So yeah, so I've just been... Well, I think it started because my cousin Jake wanted to watch me play The Last of Us 2.
Oh yeah, of course.
And I was like, oh, okay, I can just do it direct from the PS4.
Yeah.
And then obviously I said to you, because you had an account, and then Richmal got an account.
Yeah.
And then the three of you sort of watched me play that. And that was really fun because it was just like hanging out. And I
Yeah,
think then I was
exactly.
like, oh, actually... Because I know at that point you'd been watching Matt and Chubba and a few other people for so long.
Yeah, because Kev had just started streaming as well, so I just started watching him as
So
well.
I was just sort of thinking, well, actually, I can now... Not that I didn't understand it before, but it was something that I thought I just hadn't really...
Grasped.
No, I hadn't thought about watching it or really getting that involved with it.
No.
But I could understand at the time why people liked it.
Yeah.
So then, yeah, I started it and I was like, I actually quite like this. And then I was doing like a few tests and stuff. And yeah, it was just really fun.
Yeah.
And then coming into our topic today of the quarantine games,
Yeah.
I bought Resident Evil 2.
Resi
Oh
2.
my god, which I feel like you were really proud of me for.
Well, I'm pretty sure if you go back through season, definitely 2, I'm sure I bring up Resi 2 Remake a few times because I was well excited about it coming out. So I was like, oh yeah, and then just sidelined to something about Resi 2. So yeah, I'm glad that you picked it up.
Yes, I was like, I feel like this would be very funny to do online because it's very scary.
And it's a
And I
blind
know-
Let's Play.
Yeah, so I was like, I know that you've seen it. Well, I've seen you play bits of it, but
Yeah.
I wasn't really paying that much attention. And obviously, playing it is a very different thing than just watching someone play it, because I
definitely.
feel like the pressure is just immediately on.
Yeah.
And it was really nice because then, obviously, since I've been joining a few other streams, like people would come into my one on a Wednesday,
Yeah.
and we'd just hang out, and it was just really, really fun. And yeah, it's just been really, really nice. And obviously, there's people that like Shambingo.
Yeah.
You know, she's been coming in and all of that. So there's people that there's people obviously that we know, but then there's also people that we've never ever
Yeah, just come
they've
across
just
your
sort of
stuff.
found us and done it in that way. So it's nice that sort of you have these regular people on what was Resi Wednesdays.
Yeah. You've done it now, haven't you? And you've done
Yeah.
Claire as well as Leon.
I know, yeah. So It was, yeah, there was a lot going on for me with that.
Yeah.
I mean, I like horror
Yeah.
films, not like scary ones, but I was like, well, I needed a new game and it was really cheap. I think it was like £15.
Yeah, it's come down a bit.
Yeah, so I was like, okay, I could, and obviously you and I hadn't seen each other, so I couldn't just swing round and borrow it. I mean, I could have done, but it was quite it's like a 3-hour trip for a game.
Yeah, basically.
It would have cost me way more in fuel than just to buy it.
Yeah.
So I was like, I'll just buy it myself. And I'm glad I did. It was a lot to take in.
Yeah.
And I think because I've never played any of the Resi franchise, I was like, I don't really want to go all the way back to the originals because I feel like... I remember when we got the PlayStation Classic, obviously you've got Resi...
The original Resident Evil's on there.
Original on there.
Yeah.
So I was like, I don't really think my first foray into this franchise... I know it sounds bad because obviously you always want to start at the start, but
Yeah.
I feel like how I wanted to play it, I was like, I don't really want to have to do all of that stuff again.
But a lot of people have come into, like, I know we talk about it all the time, but the Tomb Raider franchise, people would play the newer ones and then they'll be like, oh, there's like the old ones, so I'll go and like see what they're about now.
I think
so
just literally while we touch on that very, very quickly, and I won't go into it because we are going to do a couple of Tomb Raider ones this series, which is weird because you would have thought people like you and I would have done this from the
ages
get-go.
ago. Yeah.
I'm wearing my Tomb Raider 2 t-shirt.
Oh, yeah.
What a shock. But I think with Resi 2, obviously I don't know it fully, and there are, we've been watching, well, more so me, because I think I requested more so like, oh, can we watch an old one? Because I just wanted to see the differences.
Yeah.
So I've been watching a couple of people this past few days playing the very first, the original
Resi 2, yeah.
So there are a lot of differences, but then I feel like the actual story sort of is the same and there's a lot of similarities to it, whereas I feel like, say, because I've come into Resi 2 at this stage of my life and I've never played any of them, it's like you've still got a lot of nostalgia with that.
Yeah.
But I feel like when they re-released Tomb Raider, well, not re-released it, but they did a soft reboot of the 2013, wasn't it? Yeah. The new one.
That was the reboot.
Yeah. It's kind of like if you're playing that's nothing. In my opinion, again, like I'm not going into the whole, I'm right, you're wrong. And this is what we want to say actually going forward, as we've always said. If our opinions differ from yours, that's totally fine.
Yeah, I mean, our own opinions are going to differ when it comes to The Last of Us.
The Last of Us Part 2, we are literally couldn't be on opposite sides of the equator in that.
Yeah.
But I think that's the thing, and we just want to sort of create one of those spaces where we can talk about these things and have different opinions, but we're still respectful.
Yeah.
And I think... Obviously, if you disagree with us or you disagree with me or with Jase, that's totally fine. I just think I'm not into the whole attacking thing.
No, when you start telling people what they should be feeling, then it becomes a...
And I'll admit, like, back in the day, because I was so precious about it, and I still am, like, especially with Tomb Raider, I look at arguments on Twitter now by so many different people.
Yeah.
And there's still that little part of me that's like, get involved. I'm like, no, don't get involved. I can rise above it, because what's the point?
No, there's no point.
There is a space where we can all, not to be so like, oh my God, love is peace and all that bollocks, but like...
No, but that's
there's
how
a space of where we can all enjoy what we enjoy. And if I don't like it, that's fine. If you like it, I'm glad that you enjoy it. Like, that means that you've took everything that you want out of that game, and that's fine.
Yeah.
But I'm not in a place of being like, personally attacking somebody for liking something. I can't be arsed with that.
Yeah.
So with that being said, my point is, when, say, if someone comes into the newer Tomb Raider games and hasn't played any of Core's originals, to me there's not really that much similarity there.
No.
So I think then when they do go back, they're like, fucking hell, what's this?
Yeah.
So I think that's what I was pleased about with Resi, because I was like, to me it seems very true to its values. And I
mean, it's
obviously there's updates and stuff like that.
It's definitely the way to do a remake, but then it is a remake. It's not even a reboot. It's literally like...
No, so obviously I do have to acknowledge that and say they didn't want to go.
No, it's annoying because...
But that was just what I mean in terms of me coming into it.
Oh, yeah.
Because obviously Tomb Raider 2013 was just called Tomb Raider.
Yeah.
It wasn't like a Tomb Raider Origins or Tomb Raider... Like, it wasn't called anything other than its... original name.
Yeah.
So I think if you're looking at it, a lot of people know who Lara Croft is.
Yeah.
So, but even when I saw it, I was buzzing, and then I played it, and I was like, yeah, it was good, but why was all this in there? Do you know what I mean? So I just got more confused. So it was nice that it kind of almost did what it said on the tin.
Yeah, I mean, all of its main mechanics and whatnot are there from the original, but they've made it, they've updated certain things, certain story elements. The biggest gripe I have with the remake is the fact that Claire and Leon's campaigns are too similar.
Yeah, I think that was my biggest bugbear. Yeah. I think almost I would have actually preferred it to be, because this was the thing, right? And I would assume a lot of people, because we had that discussion in chat when I was playing it on stream and stuff. Yeah. And that was good. I had to keep pausing, so sorry everyone about that, but I like to keep up with the chat.
Well, yeah.
But it was almost like Leon would do, because obviously you play Leon first anyway, don't you? Or can you choose Claire? I can't remember.
Choose Claire first.
I think a lot of people go with Leon though, right?
Yeah, they seem to.
So I played Leon first. Leon does his thing, and then it's almost like Leon's put everything back for Claire to find. Yeah,
and then vice versa.
And then, and all that sort of thing. So I think it would have worked better.
They should have just written a different campaign for Claire, or the other way around. Like, she should have been doing something completely different.
Or I would have actually personally preferred, and this might be a bit controversial, I don't know, whether it's literally just a linear path and you just keep swapping characters.
Yeah.
So, like, you do all of that as Leon, and then you go to Claire for a bit, and then you go back and you go back and you go back.
Yeah.
And then obviously at the end, then you have this,
Yeah, they could have done
marriage
it like that.
Of it.
I know why they did it the way they did, because that's how it was in the original.
Oh yeah, of course, and that makes perfect sense, because I think
thing.
Obviously if you don't want to play one or the other of the character, then that makes perfect sense. I just think for someone, and I guess this is with most people, if you want to play both campaigns, it does get a little bit samey, but then you can fly through it a bit quicker.
They don't take very long to do. Resi 3 is a lot more like what you were saying, because you switch between Jill and Carlos as you go through it.
Mm-hmm. Which I am going to play.
So
on stream.
3 is a lot more actiony than 2 is. 2 is a bit more focused on the horror stuff. I think 2 is a better remake than 3 is, which is a bit of a shame, because I prefer the original Resi 3.
Mm-hmm.
Not that 3 is a bad game, because I really enjoyed it, but it was just like there were some things left out of it, and I was like, oh.
Yeah, but I think a lot of it is, I just wanted something new to play, but on the back of playing The Last of Us 2, and I don't know what it was. It was even throughout stream, even with Claire, like we're, 20 hours in or whatever.
Yeah.
I couldn't get used to them controls.
Yeah.
And I don't know why. I think I just wish. Oh, and another main bugbear is they don't run fast enough for me.
Yeah, I mean, that was kind of introduced in 7 for me. It's like when you sprint. Well, I say sprint.
A light jog.
When you do a light jog, yeah, it's ridiculous. It's like just a slight little jog away from all these scary monsters. But then they did that. Obviously, that's deliberate to make it more tense and everything.
Yeah, it's really, really atmospheric, and I think we've had a lot of jump scares on stream.
Yeah,
and a lot of clips, which were funny. I did really enjoy it. I did find it quite challenging.
Yeah,
because I think I've not really played games like that,
where
I've had to sort of think, shit, I can't pick that up, or
see, I think
but other than again, for a lot of people like you and a lot of the Resi fans, that's what you're way more used to. So I think when I play things like The Last of Us, I'm always in the mindset of pretty much every game that I play, especially because I love a lot of Naughty Dog games. You want to get collectibles, and especially with like The Last of Us, you have to loot like there's no tomorrow.
Yeah.
So I think I'm always in the mindset of just literally look through every single room. And it was probably really frustrating for people to watch, because obviously the map, when everything's clear, it goes blue rather than stays red. So I was like, I need to find everything. Yeah. Just to make it go blue. So I feel like
a lot of people are like that.
I cleared an area. And obviously that's the thing with blind playthroughs, because I was really conscious of being like, I kept apologising, because I'm so sorry, because it was just a lot of things just taking me so long. But that's
part of it though, when you're playing it for the first time. Yeah, I think Resi 2's, just Resident Evil's gameplay in general is some of my favourite style of gameplay of just anything. I just love that idea of the whole thing with the item box and the typewriters, and all that stuff, and like the inventory management and all that kind of thing. I really like that. And just there's just something about exploring the RPD that's just, even though it's so terrifying, every time like I went into that game, even though it was really scary, I was like, I just wanted to keep playing and just keep finding all these things.
Yeah.
I don't know what, like, I can't really, it's so difficult to explain. There's something just like really intriguing about the whole Resident Evil, particularly all the stuff in Raccoon City. That's all my like favourite stuff from Resi, because I like all of its dark history and stuff.
I think that's the thing, like, even though I've never played it in the past, like, I think when you're, and again, this probably might sound a bit dickheadish, but I feel like when you're in that 90s era, so I grew up with, like, Tomb Raider, Resi, like, even if you haven't played this, like, even if no one's played Tomb Raider, you know who Lara Croft is.
Yeah.
It's just, like, ingrained in your mind. Because it was around the same time, it's like, I'd never played Resi, and I wasn't gonna when I was younger.
Yeah.
But it's like the zombie dogs, like, it's that iconic that you know what that is, or obviously Nemesis is in the third one.
Yeah.
To my knowledge anyway.
Yeah.
But it's like, you know who that is.
Yeah.
Or you know of Jill Valentine, or, you know.
Yeah, I feel like...
I don't know everything about it, and I would never claim to, but you sort of, even as a kid, you're like, oh yeah, the zombie dogs. Like, you already know that that's like
a thing.
A huge thing.
Yeah.
So it was kind of fun. Obviously, shit terrifying, but it was fun to experience that.
Yeah, that's good.
And have that. And share that as well.
Yeah.
So that was interesting to do, but yeah, it was challenging for me.
Yeah,
but
I mean, you went
part
into
of
it on standard as well, which I definitely didn't. I went into it on assisted for the first time, and then I was like, you know what, I feel a bit more comfortable now. I mean, like on assisted, it helps you get headshots and everything. So
yeah, I think, you know, we've had discussions about how you play games and how I play them, and that's fine. I know I wind you up sometimes, but you know, it's part of my job. In a nice way.
Rude.
But yeah, I was like, and you know, when I kept dying, I was like, you know, you can play unassisted. It kept telling me, and I was like, no, I don't want to play unassisted.
It doesn't give you a lot of time before it tells you that.
Because then, obviously, if you change it, you can't change it back. So
Yeah.
I was like, if I am going to finish this on standard, if it kills me. And it did a lot of times. But yeah, it was fun. And I felt like, I don't know how I did that, it was Claire, when the train on the lift or something, and it was like, was it Birkin's final form? And I had 10
yeah. One of his, when he's like a big like lion creature and he's like running along the floor and stuff.
I genuinely didn't know how I did that.
The lift with the train on it. But yeah, you had like 11 seconds left, didn't you, or something?
Yeah, and I said to you, everyone,
you had like no ammo left, and you were just putting pistol rounds into it.
I was like, I don't know how I'm going to do this, and then it stopped, and I was like, oh my god, I was genuinely as well sweating my ass off during that, because I was so stressed.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh my god, I'm not going to do this. And I think because I'd gotten so far, because obviously you have the 10-minute counter, don't you, to get out of the... What is that called? It's not called the hive, is it? Because that's in the film.
Then they call it the nest.
The nest.
Yeah.
Do they call it the nest in the film? Or
no, it's called the hive.
The hive confuses me.
Yeah, I don't think it was called nest in the original game. It was just called like the labs.
Oh, okay. Yeah, so I had about 10, 11 seconds to get out of there. And I was like, oh, I ain't going to do this.
Yeah.
And then somehow...
Thank God for cutscenes. It extended the time.
And I got out of there.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'm pleased with that. But yeah, people have been asking, and it's really nice that they have, that if I'm going to do Resi 3.
Yeah.
And I will. I think I just need a break and play something else. So.
I really like the over-the-shoulder Resi games. I say games. I've never played 4.
No. But that's allegedly quite an iconic one, from what I gather.
It's a lot of people's favourites. Either 2 or 4 seem to be like the absolute like standout ones. As much as I liked 7, I don't really like it. Freaked me out that much and unnerved me that much that I don't think I'd want to play through it again. Like with Resi 2, I just wanted to keep playing it, so that's why I went for the plat on it.
You know, with 7, that scared the shit out of me just watching it.
It's very spooky.
I'm not a huge fan of that first-person view.
No, I'm not either. I only played it because it's Resident Evil.
And obviously, like that's the thing. You know, as a franchise grows and it grows new legs, as it were. Because obviously, 8 is what's 8? That's
Village.
Village, yeah. I don't think that's going to be my kind of thing.
I think it's going to be well spooky.
It's
the most
really
intense
spooky.
one I hear.
I think that gameplay, it looks quite old school, like. Not period, but that.
No, it's very gothic horror.
Yeah.
I'm
That
very
one at the end
intrigued
that
how they're gonna.
roars, it looks like a lichen or that.
I think it's gonna have like they said there was like
There's a lot
werewolves
of
in it.
folklore, I would assume.
Yeah, it looks kind of vampire-y and almost
Yeah.
like Transylvania like to some extent.
But I'll be intrigued to see how that plays. I think when I think of Resi, though, I do. But then you know what I'm like. I don't like change really. But
I'm the same. I like
would
the
rather
zombies
have,
in Raccoon
like,
City.
yeah, and what goes on in the labs and
Yeah.
and all of that. But yeah, I guess we'll just have to wait and see. But yeah, I'm looking forward to playing 3.
Yeah.
But enough about me. What have you been playing?
I have been playing. Well, first of all, obviously, Resi 3 came out at the beginning of lockdown, so I played through that. But we'll get into that at like another point, I should think.
Yeah, hopefully we'll be able to do like a full one when I've played it.
Yeah,
like
yeah.
in depth, because I did the Resi 2 notes and there's literally 5 lines.
Yeah. It's that's fine.
So yeah.
But yeah, so I played that. Obviously, Last of Us came out as well in lockdown, but we're going to do something about that. And other than that,
Yeah.
I thought I was looking through my trophies, and I really, really like Assassin's Creed Odyssey. Mm-hmm. Like the whole Greek aesthetic and all that sort of stuff, and just Cassandra's really cool.
Is she?
She is, yeah. And
How dare
I
you.
was like, oh, I've not actually got that many trophies left to get. So I looked through them, and they weren't too difficult. There was like, one of them was like discover all of the underwater locations, and then there was like a few side quests that I hadn't come across for like separate characters. Which, yeah, it wasn't actually that bad. It was a bit of a slog, but nothing was really, really difficult. The only hard thing, that's something they've done since, I think, Origins. They've got, like, these legendary creatures all around the map, which are usually, like, massive animals. So it'll be, like, a huge lion or a huge bear, and it'll be, like, a mini boss fight.
Oh, okay.
And once you, like, enter, it almost is like they're always based in, like, a natural sort of arena-looking area.
Like a coliseum or something.
No. Oh, yeah, basically, but just out in like
Where
the
they
woods
would
or
belong.
something. And there was like a hyena and all sorts of things. And this
Right.
one side quest was like complete the entire set of these side quests. And I went up to this lady and she was like, "Oh yeah, can you go and kill this boar?" And I was like, "Yeah, that's fine." So I went and got the boar, and then I was like, "Oh no, I've got to kill all of the animals, haven't I?" And there was like 8 or something I needed to go and get. Which was fine, but there was this one boar that would it would jump at you, and this is the most ridiculous thing ever.
Okay.
It would fart and it would poison you. Right? And when you're poisoned, it takes your health down so fucking fast.
Really?
And it really, really pissed me off. And I was like, oh my God,
God.
this is doing my nothing.
I never thought I would hear that. Like,
I didn't expect it either.
a poisonous fart.
I had to watch
in
it a few
game.
times and was thinking, like, is this actually happening? And then it was
this a
like,
glitch?
okay, then. Well, I guess that's a thing. And I looked up, like, how to kill it because I couldn't figure it out. And people were like, oh, yeah, use this weapon and do this and everything. And eventually I did it after, like, the 10th time. And that was the hardest thing, probably.
A
But
farty boar.
pretty much, yeah. Other than
Wow.
that, there was some, like, things where I had to sink a few ships, but that was all good because I was already a really high level, so all that sort of stuff wasn't too bad.
Yeah.
But yeah, that was pretty cool. So yeah, I managed to actually get the plat on it, which I'm pretty happy about because that's my first Assassin's Creed plat.
Well done.
I did see that Valhalla's coming out at the end of this year. And
Where is that set?
in the UK.
Oh,
So
okay.
it's in like basically all of England, I think, and I think some of Norway because it's set during when the Vikings invaded here. So that looks pretty cool. But I did see some of like the things they did like a gameplay thing, and they showed you some of the things that you might have to do in it. And I remember I think it was Chubba and Matt and Nor were doing like they were doing a reaction to the Ubisoft thing.
Oh yeah.
And we were all just looking at it, and I remember just being like, I'm not going to get the plat on this, I don't think, because I think there's loads of side stuff to do.
Right.
Which is fine, but when it gets really, really tedious, like collecting 100 feathers or something like that, I'm like, I don't mind doing a bit of that, but
Yeah.
not just doing it for hours and hours at the end.
No.
But other than that, I also played Ghost of Tsushima.
Nice. That does look amazing.
It's a very pretty game. Also, it's as much as it's kind of got a bit of a heavy story in parts, it's very like chilled out.
Right.
Because all the side stuff's like really satisfying to do, and like because you're a samurai and the way they like approach battles and everything's very like methodical and all that sort of thing. Even the way he fights is like unlike anything I've ever played, and it's just really satisfying to pull off all of his moves and stuff.
Yeah.
But like you can go and do like these little things that are called, I think they're, oh Christ, I can't remember what they're called. Basically, there's these little you come across little fox dens. And
I've heard about the foxes.
if you follow the fox, it takes you to this little shrine to the foxes, because they're like some sort of I can't remember what they called them, but they're kind of like sacred animals basically, and you're meant to like follow them, and they guide you and stuff. And yeah, you can go and they're just like a side collectible. You basically just follow the fox to this little shrine, and you sort of honour the shrine.
Aww.
And there's like loads of them all spread out over the place. There's hot springs where you just get into them, and then you have to like reflect on some of the choices you've made. And he just sort
Do you
of...
have these like natural breaks almost? Sort
yeah,
of thing?
and they're pretty cool. What else was the really cool one? And the haikus was cool, where you just sit down on like a really pretty, like at the foot of a waterfall, and he would look out, and then there'd be like 3 choices, and you'd pick the first sentence, and then it would zoom in, and then you'd pick the next sentence, and then once you've chosen all the sentences, he reads it back to you, and it'll play like a little cutscene of all like the leaves blowing and everything, and it's just like, I'm so relaxed.
Yeah. I mean, there's a lot of, obviously, since, for me personally, like, since I've been joining streams and stuff, like we've been following a lot of people on there on Twitter.
Yeah.
And Spoonie's done some amazing
He does so many
photography
good
of games.
Yeah.
So I think from what I've seen, obviously anyway, and then you see Spoonie's photography, well, Gary's photography, it's just mind blowing.
Yeah,
And
he
how
does some
he
mad
would
stuff.
like juxtapose like these scenes and stuff, and the way that he'll like them.
Yeah.
It's crazy. Like I didn't even think, you know, when you think photo mode, like I've never really explored that or thought that you could achieve that kind of look.
Oh,
really.
Yeah. I mean, you can. Yeah.
So when
some
he
of
was
the things
doing
they do.
his, you know, Last of Us ones or this
Yeah.
or that, you know, you see him and you're, oh my God.
Well,
It's just, it like lifts everything to this higher level.
yeah.
And you're like, Jesus, mate, looks amazing.
It's like this common joke with all of them where they're like, well, Spoonie's going to take an extra 40 hours than everyone else because he's just going to be taking pictures all the time.
But then, you know, we see them and we're like, thank you, sir.
They're so nice. They're so pretty.
So yeah, we appreciate you, Spoonie. Thank you.
I think, yeah, exactly. The
So yeah.
Yeah, the game is like, I mean, particularly when you see it in photo mode, it's really stunning. Even when it is a fight, like the you do like these certain battles that are like just particular standoffs with like major kind of either side quest like finale bits or like major points in the story, and where you fight is usually it'll be on like the edge of a cliff. There will be like red leaves all over the floor. And they frame it like a samurai film, so it's all like really like slow, and they both just look at each other, and then there'll be like the sun setting in the background, and there'll just be like these 2 silhouettes.
I would assume it's safe to say that it's really cinematic.
Yeah, definitely. They've definitely made like really heightened that sort of way of doing things. But yeah, it was really interesting because I didn't know exactly what the story would be going into it, and essentially. The general gist is because it's set during the Mongol invasion and the samurai basically get wiped out at the start of the game.
Right.
I'm not going to go into too much of like the spoilers and stuff.
No.
Because it's
I probably should
still
have
quite
said
new.
that about Resi, but I feel like
Resi's been out
I was
over
gonna say, I
way over
feel
a
like
year
it's been
now,
long
so
enough
that's
to
fine.
say. But
Yeah. So yeah, if you've not played that yet, then well, shame.
yeah, sorry team.
Oh, it's fine. You didn't really spoil any story points.
No,
or
not
anything.
really.
Oh,
I mean,
God.
there will be spoilers going forward with a lot of things, but I think we'll explicitly say
Yeah.
that we're in spoiler town.
So
yeah, sorry, carry on.
No, that's fine. So basically, yeah, the gist is Jin Sakai, who's the main character. He is just a samurai, and there's this massive battle at the start, and basically all the samurai get wiped out except for you, and you get rescued by this lady that they call a thief, essentially, or like an assassin, who would like strike people from the darkness rather than facing someone with honor, like a samurai is to look someone in the eye when they kill them.
Yeah.
They don't like sneak up on someone and kill them, essentially.
I would assume that it's literally you will, right, this is it, we're going to fight to the death.
Because of the Mongols are so ruthless, Jin realises, like, if we fight like samurai, we will die. Like, there's no honour in, like, war, essentially, and all this sort of thing. So the whole game is like this balancing act, because he becomes, like, the people of Tsushima start calling him the Ghost. Because he starts to learn the tactics of this thief, essentially.
Right.
So he's basically battling with his qualities as a samurai and his life as becoming this new figure called the Ghost, who's trying to save Tsushima at the same time he's kind of killing his old morals, I suppose.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's pretty interesting. Also, I forgot to say, his uncle, who basically raised him because he's parents died, I think. He basically, raised him. You rescue him from this castle quite early on in the game because he gets captured. And so you also, there's a lot of stuff that goes on because your uncle's very much like, don't go down the path of like the ghost, like leave it behind.
Yeah.
And there's some pretty like deep stuff when it comes to the interactions with him, and then like the people of Tsushima wanting him to be the ghost to basically save them, because his uncle's way of doing things would just get them killed, but honorably. So it's like, it's very interesting. I didn't
sort
expect
of like
there
a
to
battle
be
with
this
himself.
Yeah,
I guess
that
as well.
is what the whole main thing is. And then right at the end of the game, I won't spoil anything, but there's like this choice that you have to go down a certain like path.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's great. Yeah, it was really good.
It sounds really, really interesting. I think as well. Obviously, I haven't seen really anything. I've just seen photos and people raving about it.
Yeah.
And it does look amazing. But I think it would be. It might be something that I'd play. I don't think I'd play it on stream, but
No.
It's definitely an option.
Depending on how much you want to do, like, you can do as much of the side stuff as you... I mean, it's like any open world game. I think a lot of people get intimidated by open world because you go on the map and you're like, oh my god, there's all this stuff to do. Usually the story quests are highlighted, so you can just travel to them and just get through the story, and then just do the other bits you want to afterwards, really.
Yeah, I suppose all of that sort of thing is optional, really.
Yeah, I mean, you come across like those. I think they're called Inari shrines. I think that's what it was. The
Right.
fox shrines things. You kind of just come across them as you travel, so you don't even need to like hunt them all down
No.
as you go. Like, I found loads of them just anyway. I didn't really have to go and hunt for many at the end.
No.
To try and get the trophy for it. So yeah, it's not really that bad. As far as it is a massive open world.
Yeah.
But it is a lot of just like nice countryside. It's not like loads of big cities and everything.
You have
like
this
that.
sort of like respite in between.
Yeah. I think what was the other thing I really wanted to say? There's some really cool like just different mechanics in it. One thing which is an absolute godsend. Almost all of the side characters, right? I've had it in so many games. You'll go and speak to someone, and they'll walk really slowly, so that when you run, you either run past them. So your like slowest walk is faster than their slowest walk.
Right.
In Ghost, they have matched their speeds. So if you run ahead, they will match your speed and just run
that's
with
good.
you, and that you won't leave
Rather
them behind.
than this constant flip-flopping.
Yeah, so that's really cool. And I like the fact also that you can change the weather with your flute.
No,
I
really?
don't know if that's its technical term, but basically you can swipe on the I don't know what you'd call it, like the touchpad in the center.
Yeah.
If you swipe it to the left, I think he gets his flute out and plays like just this little song, and then all the weather will clear and it makes it go all sunny.
That's cool.
Which is proper cool. And the other thing, there's just so many like little things in it that just are like things that other people haven't done, just kind of cool. That's the other thing I didn't know. I looked it up. The weather changes depending on how you play the game.
Oh, okay.
As well. So if you play it as like the assassin and you're going in and killing people like from like stabbing them in the back, then storms like roll in and everything. Whereas if you play it honourably like a samurai, then you get like the nicer weather and stuff.
Nice. So there's a lot of dynamic sort of play, I guess, in there.
Yeah, and even though I think a good way of going about for such a big open world game, usually you'd have like loads of different weapons and stuff. Mm-hmm. You obviously only have a samurai sword, but they've introduced like 4 different stances that you unlock as you go, and that changes how you fight and attack certain characters. So like people who have swords, you'll fight one way. People who have shields, you fight another way. People who have spears, you fight another way. And then once you've unlocked the first 3, you unlock the ghost stance, and you can activate that by pressing like, I think it's like L1 or R1 or L3 or R3 or something like that. And basically it flashes up red, the screen does, and when you go up to it goes very samurai film, and you run up to like the AI, and then you like slice them and their head will like fly off.
Oh,
and
wow.
it goes all in slow motion. The blood goes slowly everywhere, and like all the screen goes this like really dark red, and it's just
Wow.
it's very even when it's brutal, it's very pretty. It's really weird.
Yeah.
So but yeah, I think it's one of those things. I've never been into samurais or like that I've never been like that interested in that sort of element of history.
But now it's opened your
and
mind.
it's exactly the same with like what Red Dead did, because I was like, I don't really care about cowboys and all that sort of stuff, but then Red Dead 2 is now one of my favourite games ever, and it's like so I like that. Games
I think
have
there's a lot
opened
of
me up
things
to a
that
lot
have,
of
like,
things.
appeal to you and as a whole, and then you've got to uncover that story arc or that style or that decision that's been made. And I always think it's really nice when it's something that you wouldn't think in a million years would be your thing. It's like, it's not the same. Well, I guess it is the same thing, but it's like with Murdered Soul Suspect. And I borrowed that off you. I know we spoke about that on series 2.
Yeah.
But never in a million years did I think, because I'd heard such bad stuff about it.
Yeah.
And I know you had it, and I was like, oh, I want something new to play. And I knew I'd known of it, and then I've just sort of forgotten. I thought, oh, people have said it's crap. I listened, unfortunately. And I played that, and it's one of my favourites now.
Yeah. Yeah, I think
even though it's
things
just
can surprise you.
Very, again, not something I would enjoy. I fucking hate possessions and ghosts and all that shit, but
it's very sci-fi, which isn't really your thing, I suppose, typically.
Not really, but it has got that horror to it. But
yeah,
I don't know, I think there's obviously the whole story of the witch trials, which interests
that whole history thing,
me more so now that obviously I don't know how factual the game is, but there's got to be some elements to it. But it's made me want to, when we do finally get to go to Boston, hopefully,
go and have a look around,
is to sort of explore all of that stuff as
go
well.
And look at Salem,
and find out more just from that. So I think that's what bugs me a little bit when people say, oh, but playing video games is such a fucking waste of time. And I'm like, but it's not though.
No.
Because there's so many, obviously one, it's just pure enjoyment depending on what you want to play. It connects people because you and I would have never met.
No.
You wouldn't have met whoever, and
yeah, exactly.
You know, I wouldn't be friends with Rich now because that's how we started talking at work.
Yeah.
Is because we were talking about our love of games and all of that. So
yeah, exactly.
That's a really good friendship I would have never known. I would never have met you. We wouldn't be talking to probably 80% of the people that we now know.
Yeah.
And it makes people want to learn more about history or learn more about things that they would never have wanted to learn about.
Yeah.
So I think when people are like, oh, video games are a waste of time, well, they're stupid, I'm like, fuck off.
This is
fuck
I'm
off, Vic
quickly,
2020. But, you know, I think that's what is my biggest bugbear with it. And I understand if you don't get it. There's many things in this, there's some interest that people have that I don't get, but I will say, within reason, obviously, as long as it's not harming anyone or being vile towards anyone.
Well, yeah.
But that goes without saying. But I'm like, yeah, if you enjoy it, you crack on. I don't get the appeal of, like, fishing.
No.
But if you want to fish,
that's
fine. Yeah, chuck them back in. Why not? You know, I don't know how it works.
No, basically,
sorry
that's
if I've offended any fishers.
No, I don't think so.
But yeah, or you want to go, I don't know, rally card ride. There's so many things. I'm just pulling things out of thin air, but
I think I just want to quickly, like a little add a bit more to that as well.
Yeah, go for it.
I know that, Ghost is a perfect example. It's set during a historical event, but the main characters play aren't real characters. They're all inspired by people who were real. It's like the guy who leads the Mongol army, I believe, is one of Genghis Khan's grandsons, but which he had grandsons, but they made up an extra one, I think, so that it wasn't actually a real character, essentially. At least that's the kind of like what I found. But yeah, it's like people say, oh yeah, no, games are, they don't do this or that, and it's like, well, I'm not going to say the games are the only thing that made me learn about like history, but particularly like the Assassin's Creed games, because they're set across all different eras of history, ones that I was never really interested in or knew that much about, and then I would go and look up certain things and certain characters and see what was real and what was not. Because they do obviously have to change certain things for their narrative.
Yeah, obviously.
But they try and base it as much in history as possible. I think that's pretty interesting because during lockdown I've watched loads of things about like the French Revolution, the American Revolution, the American Civil War, like loads of things that are, again, are like based in Assassin's Creed games and stuff as well. And then I've like it's just sort of opened my mind up a little bit more and just realised how much of like history has had a knock-on effect to all different things that have gone on in history that I didn't know about.
No.
So yeah, it's just, I think I never liked history in school. I hated history.
Yeah, I did.
But I've definitely got a lot. I think. Yeah, the history teachers are a bit weird.
Not all of them.
Not all of them, but I feel like I had a lady who's quite scary. I don't think she intended to be scary, but you didn't want to cross her.
No.
Geography teachers were always pretty cool. I think because geography and history seem
mine
to
hated
almost
me.
come in one in like together.
Sometimes, I mean, I got put on geography report. I can't remember why,
Oh,
but I think it's because I was talking. I mean, I wasn't really like the worst student,
Yeah.
but also I wasn't the best. But I got put on 6-week geography report, so I couldn't be in lessons. And I was just like, what?
but why?
And I was like, yeah, no offence, I didn't really give a shit about sedimentary rock or whatever it is. Like,
Yeah,
if you want to send me out, that's fine. I couldn't give a shit anyway.
Yeah.
Like, do what you want. So I just had to go in the library for 6 weeks, and it was all right.
Yeah, I think.
I was like, if this is punishment, sign me up.
Yeah, there was always things in like geography that would be like really, really dull, but then there'd be parts of it that I'd really love. So it was. I think that's one of the reasons I didn't pick it as like a GCSE, because I was like, no, I don't.
I got bored with history because, and especially now that I'm older, there's so many things, especially with whatever's going on everywhere in the world. Like, there's stuff that you never knew, and it's like, why are we just learning about the same shit? Like, I want to learn about other things, and I think that's why I got so bored, because it's like, oh, fucking hell, how many times have we got to learn about the Battle of 1066? Can I remember any of it? No.
Yeah, no,
Like,
no. I was always interested.
I want to learn about other cultures and,
I was always interested
you know,
in
all
like,
of that stuff.
like the Egyptians and the Greeks, and like all of like the old like civilizations, basically.
I think for me, it's like, I just want to learn about everywhere that's not here. I live here.
Yeah.
You know, it needed to be more varied.
Yeah. There was a lot of.
But then obviously, I guess you can learn that now. But I just think you should have been able to learn that at school as well.
Yeah, I think it's funny because how, like, again, people smite games, but I'm now going to be. I know for a fact I'll be more interested in English history more than ever when Assassin's Creed Valhalla comes out.
Yeah.
Because it'll be like, oh wow, who are all these like characters? And it'll be like, oh, I think I recognise that name, and I'll go and like look things up just because it's around something I'm interested in. So people could be like, oh well, you could have learnt that in history, and it's like, I don't want to read a fucking textbook on it.
No, but that's the thing, like, if you wanted to play like Odyssey or whatever, or, you know, was there an Egyptian one?
Yeah, it was Origins.
Origins,
Odyssey,
yeah. So it's like, yeah, you'll learn one thing.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's like, I'd want to learn about so many different cultures and countries and their backgrounds and all of that. But no, let's talk about the same shit that we've spoken about since year 7.
Yeah.
Like, no.
That's what I loved
and I
about...
think that's why I just got so bored in lessons like that, because it's like, I maybe this is just me, but I just wanted to learn about other stuff.
Yeah. Yeah, lockdown, I've looked into so much stuff. It's quite interesting, really. Like, I've got a lot more like appreciation for history, I think, now than I ever did have like in school. But yeah, that's the other thing I appreciate about... I don't know if... I think they did it in Odyssey as well. In Assassin's Creed Origins, in the Egyptian one, you can basically... I'm not sure how you do it, but you can... There's like essentially a mode where nobody will attack you, and you walk around Egypt as Bayek, and like you just find... it will just give you loads of historical facts about all the temples and stuff you come across. So there's like the whole like learning thing. And I did hear something that they were using it in schools to teach things, because there was that much information in it that they're that meticulous with the way they put things into their games.
But that's what I mean. It just comes full circle. So again, it harks back to that games are pointless, games are stupid comment.
Yeah.
Why do you enjoy them? It's like they're putting it in schools.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? So, you know, obviously everyone's got their own opinions, blah, blah, blah. But I think it's... But then obviously maybe they're not educated enough and obnoxious enough to just say that opinion without knowing enough. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
You know, I think we all could learn more about everything, but to be like, nah, it's shit, bin it.
Yeah.
Because there's things I could say about the person who said it, but I won't.
Well, no.
Because that makes me just as bad as them.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think it's a, you know, it's a silly thing to say, really. That went off on a tangent.
Might have gone off on a bit of a tangent, it's fine. But then it's all tangent related to
games.
Historical games.
Yeah, true.
So yeah, that's pretty much where I've been at with my lockdown games. I still have Control, which I'm yet to play, which is apparently very good.
Yeah, I've heard good things. I've been still playing a lot of Crash.
Yeah.
So we're on the last, what would you call it? The last 5 levels of Crash 2.
Is that what you got to? Wow, that's well good.
So
I'm so bad at the
really
first 2
hard
games.
ones now. I didn't even try to sort of say to myself I was going to complete it.
Yeah.
I think I just found myself playing it because I don't really have that many games.
No. Just thought you'd get through it.
Yeah, so I was doing them and I was like, Jesus Christ. Yeah, I don't know when that's going to get completed.
No,
I haven't played it in ages because obviously when Resi was getting played, I sort of took over.
Yeah.
But it's still something I come back to every now and again, just for something of nostalgia, and then also just hopefully see if I can finish a level.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's all the ones with the rocket pack now, and
Oh, I don't even know about them. I never got very far in Crash 2, and I barely got past like maybe level 4 or 5 in Crash 1.
Well, I have to keep changing the axis because it's inverted.
Oh, that's horrible.
Yeah, so I have to keep changing it over. But, you know, hopefully I'll get there one day.
Yeah, no, Crash 3 is the one for me. I could just keep playing that over and over again and be happy.
Yeah, I did. I sort of, when I was getting stuck on 2, I kept flicking over to 3.
Yeah, so much
that's
easier.
the beauty of the reignited one. Not reignited, oh my god.
That's Spyro.
Sorry, Insane Trilogy. You can just flip-flop in
From
between them all.
Yeah.
But yeah, I am finding the first one the hardest at the moment.
It's the hardest.
And I'm not really even that far in that.
No.
But, you know, maybe we'll have another podcast and I'll miraculously have finished it.
Well, we've got 4 coming out in not that long, so...
4?
Crash
Oh,
4.
yeah, of course. I thought you meant 4 as in, like, games. I was like,
No.
1, which games? 2, I was like, well, you know.
Yeah, no, Crash 4 is coming out. And I feel like I feel like that'll be more similar
It's very
in difficulty to 3.
From what I've seen, it's very true to Crash.
Yeah, but they've just revamped it majorly. It looks awesome.
Yeah, there's some new features, but I don't know enough about it to sort of say.
There's new... I did watch something, and there's new masks that let you do different things.
There is I think there's like a slowdown of time. Well, it's called It's About Time. So it's about time travel and time manipulation and shit like that. So I guess we'll see. We'll probably end up buying it.
Oh, yeah, no, I think it looks really cool. I did see as well, I just quickly, because I saw something about it.
We're already like over an hour in.
Oh, well. Yeah, I saw something, because it's, I heard something about it being based in loads of different dimensions.
Yes,
so you go through different, there's a mode you can basically flick on where every time you go into a different dimension, the entire colour scheme and everything changes.
Oh, okay.
So when you're in one, they showed off that all the colours would be inverted. And then another one, you'd have to hit paint buckets, and it would paint the environment as you go. So when you start the level, it's all white. And then as you go to hit these paint buckets, it sprays paint everywhere, and it starts colouring the level.
Jeez.
So, which looks proper cool. But I don't think you have to play it like that. I think it's just
I suppose that's another mode that they've given you.
And there's loads of I saw there was loads of new outfits you can put him in as well. And you can also play the whole game as Coco.
Oh, good.
So if you want to switch it up basically.
Fun.
One of their outfits was well fun. It was like a complete neon suit where he's got neon sunglasses on. It's proper cool.
Of course he has.
It does look cool. Especially, I've not had the best time with Crash. Crash 3 I love, but 1 and 2 I really like.
I think they're just renowned for being hard.
Yeah, so I'm hoping that 4 will have challenge, but not to the extent of 1.
Yeah. But so,
yeah.
I guess we'll have to wait and see.
Well, we've gone on lots of tangents throughout this quarantine games.
Do you know
episode.
why? I think I'm just so excited to be back.
Yeah.
I've been thinking about
it's
this
so
for
weird
ages,
that we're here now.
I know, and I think because obviously for the last 5 months we haven't been able to, and I feel like when you can't do something, it makes you want to do it more.
Yeah,
so
that's very
I know
true.
that we can't podcast, but I really, really want to podcast. And all of this stuff has been happening, and this stuff that you want to kind of comment on.
Yeah.
They just haven't had the means to. So it's really nice to be back. But obviously, in all seriousness, we hope that you've all been well and safe.
Yes.
And we hope that you continue to be,
yeah,
really.
Exactly.
So, and also, we just want to say a massive thank you to everyone who's been taking part in the streams, who's been still listening to the old podcast, because we have been having plays that I've seen.
We hope you enjoyed this series.
So we've got lots in store, so strap yourselves in over there.
It begins here.
So it's downhill from here.
Expect more of our ramblings about quiches and whatnot.
Oh, don't. I'm actually starving now. I know it's not even that late, but I'm so hungry.
My bum's very numb, I can tell you that much.
I have a numb bum. So so thanks for listening to Quiches and Bums.
Thank you, guys.
And for the first time in a year, we'll catch you in the next one.
Catch you in the next... I almost said video. It's not a video.
It's not a video. Unless you've secretly been filming, and that's slightly alarming.
Oh, that'd be horrible.
Oh, that would be horrible.
Just these two sweaty people just
God.
talking random stuff.
Thank you so much, everyone. We'll see you soon.
Bye.
Bye.